Hi everyone. This week we were tasked with accessing the Jerry Falwell Library database and locating the America's Historical Imprints database, which features the Charles Evans and Shaw Shoemaker document collections. We were tasked with finding two primary sources that could be utilized to support a presentation given to a specific group of people over early American history. And the audience that I targeted for this presentation was a group of veterans at a local VFW near where I live, which is VFW Post 8452. And the topic of this presentation was going to be on the early development of the national defense for the United States of America. Now, national defense is something that always comes up when I have conversations with other veterans. Myself, being a Marine Corps veteran, our national defense and how it got to where it is today is something that has always fascinated me. And so through this assignment, I was able to access two primary sources that outlined early steps into creating the national defense that we have today and getting it on those right tracks. Both of these primary sources are from the early 1800s. The first one, which was by William Tatham, and this was a statement explanatory of the public interest in William Tatham's topographical and other employments. And this was in aid of the Department of War. And what Tatham was presenting to the Congress, which was during one of their sessions in December of 1813, what he was presenting was the importance of having an archive of topographical maps, in not just topographical maps of our country, but also of our allies and other countries that we could obtain topographical maps of during peacetime, so that when or if the situation arose where we had to be in a combat situation in those areas, our troops could be supported. And he highlights in his report that is turned into Congress the importance of this, and he talks about how during not just the American Revolution but during other conflicts that had occurred, that our troops were severely under-resourced because they did not have those topographical maps, and they were coming up on these physical features like rivers that they did not know were there. And when you're not prepared to do a river crossing and all of a sudden you're on the banks of a river, that's not a good situation to be in when you're trying to move troops. And so by creating this database, it's very important to our national defense. The second portion of this presentation would have been on talking about maneuvering troops through the United States. And this was a report of the Secretary of War relative to roads and canals, and this was done in January of 1819. And what this report does is it highlights the importance of having interconnected roads and canals that crisscross the United States in order to be able to mobilize troops in a very quick and effective manner to get them from one portion of the country to the other if we needed to defend against a foreign attack in our country. And these roads and canals could be utilized for different things when it's not wartime, but when it comes to wartime, they would kind of be shut down, and only that necessary traffic would be utilized on those. And this is kind of reflective of what our interstate highway system is today. It's a very crucial piece of our national defense because it allows our troops to mobilize very quickly to get to different places. And so seeing this in a primary source from 1819 was truly interesting to me, and I enjoyed getting to access these collections, and I look forward to using the Charles Evans and Shaw Shoemaker document collections for future research that I do.